Okay, let's talk about aura. And for this discussion, I'll be using the bodygraph from Human Design to illustrate what I'm talking about, because I found this system to be one of the most accurate and profound um, uh, uh, systems that I've ever come across. And I've worked through so many different systems. Um, what this map does is it shows you essentially your energetic blueprint, and you can see that there's 9 centers there. These are like the energy centers, or the chakras in the Hindu system. They all represent something different, a different aspect of yourself, and depending on your chart, you'll have some colored in and some white. And the colored in ones basically mean those centers are always switched on. There's consistent energy running through them. And when they're open or white on the body graph, it means they're inconsistent. You don't always have energy consistently running through them. And it's all got to do with the circuitry that you can see. They're the little channels that are connecting all of the centers. When you've got energy running through a full channel, you have consistent energy lighting up those centers all the time. And that kind of, long story short, like essentially whatever the configuration you have uniquely in your blueprint creates a very specific kind of aura that literally affects everything and everyone around you. It affects it affects the way that you interact with people. It affects the way that you move through life. And we're not all designed to move through life in the same way. We're not all designed to use the same strategies. This is why generalized advice just does not work. One of the most common examples of this is you hear two kinds of contradictory advice, basically. One is in life that you know what you want, and you go out and get it, and you make it happen, manifest it, right? Then the other advice that you'll often hear, sometimes in the same conversation, is to let life come to you and to attract everything. You know, don't go after everything. Don't force things to happen. Just allow things to come to you. Why is there such conflicting advice like this? And which one is correct? I've always had questions like this, and it's honestly not until getting into human design that I've had not just questions like that answered, but so many questions that no matter what system that I've looked into, I've never been able to find answers for. I've found them in human design. It's why I'm like obsessed with it these days. So actually, what's crazy is only about I think it's like 7% of the population will have the energetic configuration or the aura type where going out and getting and making stuff happen and literally going after what you want actually works for them. And in fact, if these people don't move through life like that, and they just take the advice of waiting for life to come to them, they'll be waiting forever. They'll never have the life that's correct for them. These people actually need to point out and say what they want and go and make it happen, or else it'll never happen. Then you've got about roughly 70% of people have an aura type where that is how they will meet resistance, by pushing and by trying to force life and try to force the timing of life, and following that, go-getter kind of initiate, manifest, like go after what you want. 70% of people will actually have that backfire pretty much every time, or it just won't work out the way that they wanted it to, because this kind of aura type, which is the most common, is highly magnetic, and there's a reason for that. I won't go into this video, but all you need to know is that 70% of people have this magnetic aura where they are supposed to let life come to them. In order to not keep hitting their head against the wall and meeting resistance, their best strategy is to let their aura do what it does best, which is pull things toward it. And you're sort of in this dance with life. You're not being too proactive. You're actually letting life come to you. And it's all specifically because of the way your aura works and the way the mechanics of your energy. Um, so you see how dangerous generalized advice is, and in human design they call it homogenized advice, which is advice that is the same across the board. You know, another name for human design is the science of differentiation. It's actually how we're different. Um, you know, it's how we're different that makes life interesting, and it's not until you know yourself and you know how your energy works that everything starts to make sense. So, you know, it's something to look into. I highly recommend checking out. You can go and find you can go online and search human design and generate your own body graph and see which centers that you have. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Because once you start to honor the way your specific, unique energy works, life, you know, becomes a lot. I want to say easy, but I don't mean that. Like, I don't necessarily mean just living like this means everything's going to be, you know, easy and la-di-da or whatever. What it does mean is you get to experience what living life correctly as yourself feels like, what that experience is like. When you are living in alignment, it means you can move through the challenges in life instead of hitting roadblocks and just being thwarted every single time you try to do something, or you don't know why you're stuck, why something doesn't work. You know, there's still going to be challenges in life like that, but this shows you how to move through these you know, challenges and obstacles in life in a way that works best for you. So you you know, end up growing from these experiences rather than just being stuck there forever and never getting past it. So yeah, this is you know, I kind of call it aura mechanics because it essentially that's what it's all about. Knowing how your energy works in life, knowing how it affects other people, how to interact with other people, creates a lot of flow, creates a lot of ease. It gives you something that you can rely on, and that something is the truth of your energy, the truth of you and how you work energetically. And you know, the more you fall into alignment and surrender to that truth, you know, surrender to who you've always been. You know, there's a deconditioning process that takes place with that. But the more you surrender to the energetics of who you actually are, the more life just you get the life that's meant for you, basically. Instead of chasing after whatever it is you mentally think is correct and the way you think things should happen based on advice, based on conditioning. You know, this shows you how to relax into yourself and you know, yeah, as I said, get the life that is right for you, that is correct for you. There is nothing more beautiful than correctness. And again, that's a human design word. Correctness of the self, correctness of the form, and it just means you're not fighting against yourself anymore. Yeah.